Hi there, my name is MC Yoda, and welcome to my hardcore series where you get to choose my fate. That's right, much like a choose your own adventure book, in this series you, the viewer, gets to choose how I proceed from episode to episode. So before we get started, let's see what's on the agenda for today. I got lots of great suggestions for this episode, but one thing I've noticed now is the suggestions are getting a little bit more diverse, and it might be a little bit more difficult for me to work every suggestion into an episode. But don't worry, if I didn't choose yours, please just keep that one in mind, maybe for a future episode, and it might be something that I'll be able to get back to in an episode coming up. But all the suggestions I've gotten were fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of them. So for this episode, there were a few themes. Some people wanted me to do a little bit of work on my starter home here, and that is this ship in a bottle, if this is your first episode. A couple people want me to dip my toes into the nether this episode, which is a great idea because I do need some soul sand, and I could also start using some quartz for some redstone components. A couple people wanted me to do a little fishing for various reasons. First of all, Millicraft wants me to go ahead and get started working on those conduits, and thought fishing for the seashells would be a great start. Also, you see my little pet down there. One person, only one single person, even suggested that I give him a name. So we're gonna have to do some fishing for a name tag so that we can give that guy a name. There were also several suggestions this time regarding different types of farms. Some people want me to fix up my little surface island, which you can barely see above my head up there, and start getting that organized into some farms. Some people also want to see me make a mushroom farm so that I can start making some books and expanding this enchanting table out to start really getting some decent gear. Now, to prep for this episode, I had to do a few things off camera, some long, kind of boring things I didn't think you guys would want to sit through. Like, I took some time to do a little fishing. I also harvested a bunch of sand. I chopped down lots of trees. I did a little bit of fishing. I dug up a ton of dirt. I smelted lots of charcoal and glass in the furnaces, and I even found time to do some fishing. So now that I have some resources in hand and a plan on how to tackle this episode, let's waste no more time and go ahead and get this started. All right, let's start with some of the easy stuff. I told you I did a lot of fishing, and this should show you just how much fishing I did. I actually ended up fishing until I got 8 nautilus shells, enough to make the first conduit. So Millicraft, your suggestion to make a conduit, we are well on the way to getting that done. I did end up getting a bunch of name tags, so we are going to be able to name our pet today. I found some saddles, so Zinkberg's suggestion from an episode or two ago to get a saddle and tame a horse, I think that might come true this time. And I got so many different bows and enchanted books that I think I'll be able to make pretty much a super bow this episode. All right, let's start with this conduit. I need a heart of the sea, and we're gonna surround that by 8 nautilus shells, and there is a conduit. Awesome. Now, I haven't used conduits very much, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need prismarine blocks from one of those ocean monuments. I'm pretty sure that a conduit by itself doesn't give you any abilities. You at least need 1 ring of prismarine around the conduit to activate it. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to tackle those ocean monuments yet. Even if I had milk and a way to get around the mining fatigue, those laserfish are pretty freaking scary. And without all of the proper water breathing and water movement enchantments on my helmet and boots, I have a feeling that those guys could put a quick end to this hardcore series if I'm not careful. So I've got the conduit, and we'll hold off on tackling that monument for a future episode. And Tony Garces, you also suggested that I start getting some sponges since I'm doing all this underwater work. That is a great idea as well, but again, not quite ready to tackle that ocean monument yet, but hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. So for now, let me put this conduit away and look at naming our pet. So Vaude wants me to name our dog Matey. And he had a fun reason for wanting to do that. So now every time I come aboard my ship, I can say, "Ahoy, me matey!" I love it. I love it. So let me do some quick touch-ups here on the starter home. And Impala 100 said he wanted me to put some sand around the base of this ship inside the bottle to make it look like the ship is running around on the sand inside this bottle. So I've got a bunch of sand that I dug up before the episode, so let me go ahead and start placing that and seeing how this looks. All right, well, I think that probably about does it for the sand. Let me see if I can hop up here first of all. Yes, okay, I can get back in the boat. Let me take a quick look with the free cam and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think that works. That was a great idea, Impala. Let's see, I think I might add a little bit on one of these two sides just so it doesn't feel quite so even. But yeah, I think that was a fantastic idea. That really turned out nice. Okay, so now let's talk about mob farms. A couple people, Zuligan Rage and Kirtiana, both want me to make a mushroom farm. And Zuligan Rage wants me to expand that sugarcane farm so that we can start enchanting. So as far as how I'm going to do those farms, I'm going to combine that with this another awesome idea that Tony Garces had, and that was to expand my underwater base by creating, check this out, more bottles. Yeah, I love it. I love it. More bottles for each of the animal farms. And I think that is a fantastic idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up 2 more bottles down here in the water. First, I'm gonna move that chicken farm, which is right behind me there, down into one of the bottles, and then we're gonna make a mushroom farm in the other bottle. If any of you missed last episode, let me show you the map real quick. And right down here to the southeast, I haven't been down there yet, but I saw it on the map, is a mushroom island. So I'm hopefully going to be able to go down there and get a couple of mushrooms and bring them back. So I sketched out some ideas on how I can make these bottles just big enough to squeeze these farms in, because I don't want to make massive bottles. That's just going to be too much work, especially without those sponges. But I have some great ideas, so let me go ahead and get those bottles built, and then we can look at moving those farms in there. So my first concern with animal farms is I don't want them too close to my house so I don't have to listen to them all the time. So most sounds in Minecraft travel 16 blocks, with very few exceptions. So as long as I build these farms at least 16 blocks away from, say, the edge of this bottle, then I won't have to worry about hearing them while I'm doing work inside my home. So if I do F3 and G, we can see the chunk grids here. And as long as it's at least 1 chunk away from this bottle, then I'll be all good. So what I'm thinking is right along here, so we can see a chunk border kind of ends here. So if we just, make sure it's really far enough away and go a full chunk out even further than that, that's going to put those bottles right about here, which I think is a good place because it's really not too far away. It's just a very, very short swim. So I'm thinking I'm going to have 1 bottle probably about here, kind of sitting right on this kind of flat part of gravel here, and the other one just over here on this flat part of gravel here. Okay, well, building these is going to take a little bit of time. So let me go ahead and get those built, and then I'll get back with you. All right, the 2 bottles are in place, and I still need to empty them out with water and then put little corks in the top. So I decided I'm going to use moss instead of dirt for this because moss is just way quicker to punch up than dirt is, and I can do it with my hand if I wanted to. So I think for this, I think I might actually be able to fill it starting all the way at the bottom. So let me go ahead and get this done, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, that is 1 bottle empty, so now I just need to make my way out. I'm going to do the same glow lichen thing I did on my starter base. There we go, so now I can get in and out of the bottle from down here, and then I can put a cork in the top to make it look nice. There we go, just like that, and the first bottle is done, and my way in is going to be through this little doorway right here. All right, so let me go drain the water out of this bottle, and then we'll be ready to start building some farms. Okay, we're going to put the same glow lichen entrance on this bottle and a cork on top. Okay, so that is both bottles ready to go. This one over here is where we're going to move the automatic chicken farm, and in this one here we're going to build a cow crusher, or I should say mushroom crusher. You know, all this work with glass, and I just realized I got silk touch when I was fishing. So let's go ahead and put that on my pickaxe so at least I have silk touch available to me. Ah, much better, a silk touch pickaxe. All right, so now let's head southeast and let's find some mushrooms. Hello, noisy chicken farm. Well, here's the mushroom island, and it's nighttime, but that shouldn't be a problem since mobs don't spawn here. Oh, this is funny. I don't see any mushrooms on this big part of the island, but check out over here. They're all huddled up on this one little bit of land. This isn't much of a mushroom island here. Let me check out my map. Okay, this is the whole thing. Holy cow. Okay, wow, check this out. So I knew there was a lot of monuments, right? We saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, a 6th one here, and look, a 7th one right here. Man, this seed is just insane. All right, well, ladies, you look like you might be the only ones here on this mushroom island. And of course, you're on the tiny one over here. I don't see any over there. Oh, nope, there's one over there. Okay, you're not alone. All right, well, I do have 2 leads, so let's try to pull some of you here with me. I'm going to get 1 of you in the boat. Okay. And I'm going to get 2 of you on leads. And I'm going to take 3 of you home with me. Yep, there you are. All right, well, let's bring these 3 home, and then I might actually come back and get 3 more. You know, the more I start with, the fewer I'm going to have to breed up before I can actually get my farm going. All right, let's get one of you in this boat here. There we go. All right. Is that all 6? Awesome. Great. I got 6 mushrooms sitting in boats. So let me go ahead and grab some materials for that farm and get it started. So this type of farm really doesn't need much. I need 2 chests, 1 hopper, a fence post, some ladders, some glass, and a bucket of water. And that's it. This is one of the easiest farms you can build. And you can look these up online. You can find tons of videos showing you how to make these. Okay, the farm is complete, but I need to get the mushrooms into the farm instead of up in their boats. So let me remove this for now. And I think they're gonna have to come in through the cork. Of course, if I open that up, I'm gonna flood it with water. So let's go back up to the top and see if we can figure out a way around this. Okay, I think I'm gonna build a little moss chute here that I can drop these mushrooms through. Okay, now, so that should be a straight drop right down into the water, right into the farm. All right, let's go ahead and free these ladies. Now you all follow me. Follow me very, very slowly. All right, they are not falling down the hole. Oh yeah, that trapdoor makes it a little too skinny for them to fit down. So I'm going to have to remove the trapdoor. I think once they're here, I'm just going to have to push them in the hole. I think that's how this is going to have to work. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. They are not going in. Okay, here we go. So now I can actually have a corner to push them into. There we go. There's one. Okay, there's another one. And another one. And number 4. And 5. And 6. Well, that was fun. Okay, this is a little bit of a problem. I can't get the fence post back with them bouncing around like this. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to temporarily take that water out so they stop bouncing around. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do this without letting them free. I really don't want to let them free. Let's see. Can I get a fence post on this block? Oh, that was weird. It just vanished. Okay, the game just stole my fence post. I think it glitched and now it's not in my inventory. Okay, let me grab a new fence. Oh, well now the old fence post is back. Okay, well let me grab 2 just in case. And I'm gonna grab a piston just because I think I might end up needing one. Okay, let's see. I'm still not quite sure how I'm gonna do this. Oh, I have an idea. I need a slab. Okay, so the challenge here is I need to get rid of that block of water without these cows then spilling out of this hole. I'm not sure if a cow is exactly 1 block tall or taller, but I don't want to risk it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a slab here and a piston there and a lever on the piston. So now if I move this piston, look, there we go. Okay, so that will block them from moving. Oh, I knocked my ladder off. That's no problem. So now I can get rid of this water like this. All right, which made them stop bouncing, which is fantastic. So now I can actually put this fence post back in place where it belongs. Knock out all of these mosses here. Okay, now I'm going to replace this water if I can target that. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to need this piston back so I can now put it on this side and push this thing back in place. Oh, that worked. Nice. All right, let me put my ladder back. There we go. Now, farm is complete. So I can come up here and I can feed the cows like this. Of course, right now I only have 2 wheat, but basically I can feed them like that. They will breed. They'll make a little baby. And then once there's enough cows in here that the cramming will start killing them, then the adult cows will start dying and then giving me leather and meat. Perfect. Awesome. Love it. All right, that means the mushroom farm is done and it's in a bottle down here on the floor of the ocean. That is incredible. That is such a cool idea. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now we need to get the chicken farm moved over into the other bottle, and this is going to have some challenges. So if you missed last episode, I had to make this noisy contraption here because I don't have a comparator yet to read a signal out of this dispenser. And I don't want this noisy lag machine in my world any longer than it has to be. So before I move this chicken farm to the other bottle, first I'm going to have to get the components I'm going to need to redesign the redstone. And that means we need to go to the Nether. So let's get away from this noise machine here and go build us a Nether portal. Okay, so we've got plenty of obsidian to make a portal out of. And yeah, here we go. I have a flint and a flint and steel. So now the question is, where do I build this portal? What would be a good spot for it? Do I want to keep it here in my starter home? If so, I'm not sure where I'm going to be able to squeeze it in. I mean, I could go ahead and make another bottle for the Nether portal. That might be a neat idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I got plenty of glass, and I've got more glow lichen to make a doorway, plenty of moss to remove the water, and a little more oak for a cork. All right, so I'm thinking like this little section over here is a great place for these smaller bottles. And this one doesn't have to be quite so far away because the Nether portal, although it makes noise, I do have a resource pack that makes that noise much, much quieter. So we're going to need a base for this bottle. And that base is going to have to be big enough to fit a Nether portal. So it's going to have to be this, we'll go 4x4. Oh, I got to remember to breathe. Oh, this is the worst thing about this. All right, let me finish getting this bottle built and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, that one is done now, and it's a little bit more square and squat and has a big cork in the top, mainly because, oh, I didn't want the bottle to be any bigger than it had to be, which made it a 4x4 interior, which made it an even number, which meant it had to have a big cork. So it kind of doesn't look quite as fancy as the other two with the neck and the lip and everything, but it serves its purpose. and honestly, I'm running out of glass, and I think that looks just fine. But before I light that portal and jump into the Nether, let's go ahead and make sure we are prepared so I don't end up losing my life and ending this series too soon. Okay, before I go to the Nether, I need a really good bow. The best way to stay alive in the Nether is to not get close to things. If I start finding gas and stuff, I'm really going to need to be able to attack them from a distance, and this Power 2 bow just isn't going to cut it. Well, when I did all that fishing, again, I found tons and tons of bows so I can make a super bow. But I kind of looked at the way I would have to combine them, and because their healths are so low, even when I combine several of them, it's not going to be at full health. And I'm going to want this bow to last as long as possible. So I was thinking I would start with just a regular bow with one or two of those enchantment books on it, and then start combining it with some of the other powers. But I only have one string, which means I'm going to have to go back up north and fight some more spiders. Now before I hop in my boat and sail up there was a suggestion that You All Plays made, which is for me to make bridges to the land areas so that I don't have to keep just sailing on my boat every time. And that's a really interesting idea. So I thought about how I could accomplish that and what gain it would give me. Of course, their suggestion was to use those roads to make a rail system, but that would require a mountain of iron that I just don't have. But is there a way that I could build this road that was suggested to make my traveling a little bit easier and not have to worry about mining a ton of iron to make it happen? So I did a little bit of research on speeds, and sailing in a boat at maximum speed goes 8 meters per second. Of course, a meter is a block, so really 8 blocks per second. Full speed on a minecart is also 8 blocks per second. So if I were to build a road with minecarts, the speed would be pretty much the same as me sailing a boat. Of course, it would be hands-free, which would be an advantage. But there is a way to go faster, and that, of course, is riding a horse. Which takes us back to Zinkberg's suggestion from a couple episodes ago. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I grab one of these saddles that I fished up earlier, and a ton of this wood that I chopped down earlier, and then build a road all the way to the Northlands, and tame me a horse so I can ride it back and forth. All right, so let me go spend some time building this road and I'll be right back with you. Okay, well that finishes up the road. All right, so I did have to put a little bend in the road here at the end because I wanted to come out here on this beach. Because otherwise, if I would have kept going straight, it would have hit right in the middle of this cliff right here, and I didn't feel like digging out a big chunk of the cliff. So now we have a road up to the Northlands, and now we just need to find a horse. And there are some right here. So let's go ahead and start taming these and see if we can find a nice fast one. Okay, well I have tamed this one, so let's see how fast this one is. Okay, so I just pulled up a thing called Mini HUD on the top left part of my screen, and I have a stat shown there which tells me how fast I'm moving. And that's actually how I figured out that boats and minecarts were both 8 meters per second. So what I can do is I can start walking with this horse, and I can see how fast this horse goes. And this is almost 10 meters per second, so not much faster than a boat or a minecart. So let's see if we can find a faster horse. This is about the same. It's about 9.9, and I know you probably can't read those. It's probably really small on YouTube. In fact, I can barely read it. But let's see. We have to wait till nighttime for the spiders to come out anyway, so let's see if we can find some more horses while we're waiting. All right, well, this is the best horse I've found. He's about 10.5 blocks per second, and he's got really good health. There was one that moved 11 blocks per second, but his health was really low, so I didn't want to go with that one. But it's nighttime now, so let's go ahead and find us some spiders so we can get some strings. Okay, well, I have found 10 string, and some of those other mobs were getting a little hard to deal with, so let's go ahead and get on this road and get back home. Okay, so let's talk about names for this horse. I do have name tags back home, so I think we're going to need to give this horse a name. Now, I do have a good name in mind, so if nobody gives me any suggestions, we're going to go ahead and go with my name. But in this series, you are calling the shots, so if you have a good name, go ahead and send it my way, and we will get this horse named next episode. Okay, well, let's see if I have enough levels to make an awesome bow and get going to the Nether. So this would be flame. We have punch and unbreaking. We need flame. We need infinity. So that's power 3. Okay, so I had a little bit of a misclick there, and I actually did a combination that was more expensive than I should have done. And I don't quite have my bow built yet, and I'm out of levels. So let me go ahead and put these aside for now, and I'm going to go ahead and take this power 4 bow into the Nether with me. Of course, I only have 13 arrows, so you know what? Let me take this infinite power 3 bow. Yeah, that should be enough to hopefully keep me alive. Okay, I have about everything I need to go to the Nether, but I am running very low on food, so let's go ahead and see how many cooked chickens we have up here. Oh wow, we've gotten 21 chickens already out of this farm. Nice. Good job, Noisy Farm. So Daylight MCR and Sammy both wanted to see me go to the Nether this episode, so let's go ahead and light this thing up. All right, nice. Let me get a golden apple in my hotbar just in case. Oh, you know what? I should probably get a piece of gold armor on me just so I don't have to deal with those piglins. Because honestly, the ones with the swords actually hit pretty hard. Okay, we're gonna go with boots. All right, so let's go ahead and peek our head in the Nether here. I'm actually hoping that we find some soul sand and some quartz, and then I'm probably not gonna want to stick around too much longer than that. All right. Not a terrible spawn. I'm not over a lake of lava or anything. Well, speak too soon. Okay, I don't see any... Well, there's soul sand down there. Nice. Okay, okay. Let's see. Do run the risk of those... What are they called? The nether boars. Oh, those guys. Yep, these guys. Wow, they really do take a lot of hits, don't they? Okay, I need to get one of these little green mushrooms to keep those guys away from me. Let me go ahead and put one of these by the portal here just to keep those guys away. This really is not an ideal spot, is it? Oh, is that soul sand over there? Ah, yes, there's a ton of it over there. Nice, okay. That might be a little bit easier to access. But I still need to get some quartz while I'm here. Okay, it's a little hard getting down here because I'm kind of on this cliff. But as long as I kind of light my way with torches, I'll know how to get back. And this is also a reason why I like to bring some gravity blocks with me into the Nether, like some sand, so that I can, you know, get down from tall places like this. Oh, look who's coming up the sand. Oh, he's like stuck. That's weird. Oh man, these guys aren't going to leave me alone, are they? Okay, I'm just going to have to scoot on out of here. Let's just run over here to this soul sand section if I can avoid these guys. Oh, wow, that's so dangerous. That is so dangerous. Oh, Nether. You exist just to kill people, don't you? Oh, that's right. Skeletons are here. Oh, and there's a ghast. All right, bow. Hey, that went right through it. Oh, he just vanished. Nice. Okay, he's scared of me. All right, I got some soul sand and some soul soil. Okay, now I just need to find some quartz. There's some quartz over there. Can I get to that easily? Let me mark my way back. Definitely grabbing some bone blocks while I'm here because I really don't have a bone source yet in the overworld. And I'm getting ready to do some farming, so I'm going to need bone meal. Okay, well, I've got a few things that I need, and I have to remind myself that I'm in hardcore. And the longer I stand here in the nether just poking around, the more I risk losing. Okay, we are back in the overworld, so at least I survived my first trip to the nether. And now that we've been there, we can go back anytime we want. Alright, well, now that we have some soul sand, let's go ahead and get that water elevator down to the mining area done. I'm going to need some of this kelp to help make that. Alright, now let's go ahead and get rid of these ladders and replace this with a water elevator. So to keep that water from spilling, that's where this glow lichen comes in. I can basically block it off like this and like this. And I'm going to replace this sign with one there. Alright, there we go. So now we have a drop all the way to the bottom. And, oh, that makes me nervous every time. And an elevator all the way back up to the top. Nice. Okay, so where were we? I'm getting a little lost in this episode. That's right, I need to use that quartz to make a redstone component to move that chicken farm down into the bottle. Ooh boy. Alright, let's get back on track. Okay, to make these redstone components, I need stone, and I only have 5 of them. But luckily, I did put silk touch on this pickaxe. But this takes me all the way down to deep slate. So now I'm in a conundrum. I'm out here in the water with no access to stone. Okay, so let me take the horse back to the Northlands just so I can get some stone. Oi. Oh, I've been through the ocean on a horse with no name. Okay, for the new chicken farm, I'm going to need 1 comparator, and I think 3 repeaters. And I like to use these special building blocks, so I'm going to make a few of those with this stone cutter. Okay, so let's turn off this noisemaker over here and start getting this transfer started. Alright, the first thing I need to do is free these chickens. Okay, you're free. I don't want to uncover that lava yet. Okay. Alright, how many are you? I wonder if they're laying eggs and they're not getting pulled in by the hopper because I did not make this many chickens. Okay, that's strange. Okay, if anyone can answer that, that is really weird because I thought I had like 5 chickens in here. Not this many. Oh no. Well, you know what? Right now you're just going to have to run free and I'll worry about collecting you later. Let me pull that lava out of there. All right, now let me just finish breaking this down and then we'll get down to the new spot. All right, now let me go ahead and get this reconstructed over here inside the chicken bottle. Okay, well, I have completely moved the automated chicken farm into this bottle. My apologies, I forgot to hit record when I did this bit. So you kind of missed all the action. You know, wrangling all these chickens over here was quite a sight to see. But everything is working great and the machine is working. We've got some baby chickens in the chamber here. And once they grow up, we're going to start getting some more cooked chickens. Let me talk really quick about this redstone. This probably looks like a little bit more than you normally see in a chicken farm. It's got all the same components. It's just a little bit bigger with a few extra repeaters. Basically, you have to pull a signal out for using this comparator, and usually people just go straight back. And it's the way to really kind of accomplish this in the smallest amount of space as far as redstone is concerned. But whenever I kind of built the farm like that, the farm itself had a footprint of 3 by 6, which meant that this glass bottle had to be at least a 6 by 6. Now, I swung the redstone out to the side a little bit, and that made me have to add a few extra repeaters so the redstone wouldn't mix here. But what that resulted in was a footprint of 5 by 5, so I was able to get away with a slightly smaller bottle, which let me use, quite a few less glass resources, and it also just kind of makes it look a little bit more compact. Okay, well, let me pop into free cam real quick here and let me show you what we accomplished. We got all these little bottles in the water now, and this is looking really cool. So thank you, Tony, for that idea. That was pretty awesome. Let's see, we've got the automatic chicken cooker in its own little bottle over here. We've got the mushroom farm over here, and that reminds me I'm gonna have to start farming wheat so I can actually breed these up and start getting some leather and meat out of those. And we also have a little kind of a short, squat, wide bottle here for the nether portal. And yeah, I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. Let me just take a wider shot here. This is from above the water. That's looking pretty neat. I'm liking this. And then from below water, you kind of get the glow from these bottles through the seaweed. That looks awesome. Oh, such a good idea. All right, so I'm not sure how long this episode is going to be after I edit it down, but for me, this has been over 6 hours of time, and I need to wrap up this episode. So I'm going to call the end of the episode here, and I know we didn't get to everything that was suggested today, and I think that's something we're just going to have to deal with going forward, because as we get more suggestions that are, again, more diverse and more varied, everything's just not going to be able to be accomplished in one episode. We didn't get anything done on this little island part here. This is where we had suggestions to start making this like plant farms up here, so we can, you know, start farming these carrots and this sugar cane and these trees a little bit easier. So we can probably target that for next episode. But again, this is where I need your help. You need to tell me what you want me to do next episode. So please go ahead and drop those suggestions down there in the comments and tell me how you think I should proceed. This episode has been a lot of fun, and I feel like I got quite a bit accomplished. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what suggestions you come up with for next week. Well, I'm glad you came by, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And until next time, you take care of yourself, okay? Bye-bye.